Kiss me hard before you go. Summertime sadness.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our Astronaut program of Odyssey through Anatomy. I'm Hauwa'u, Basakkwace, Queen of Anatomy at Federal University Birmingham, and today we are diving into fascinating journey of anatomy, and I'm thrilled to have a special guest with us. Welcome, Hussein. Can we know a little about you?
All right, thank you, Hawa. Thank you, Astronaut for giving me a privilege to be with you today. My name is Hussein Salisu, the pioneer chairman, Anatomical Student Society of Nigeria, FBK chapter, and I was able to chair the association right from 2019 to date. And just last session, we had our first election where I was elected as the first president of ASON FBK chapter.
Great. Okay, Hussein, briefly tell us what anatomy is and your initial reaction when you started it.
Okay, so anatomy is the biomedical course, or we say like it's a health science course that studies structure of human body and how these structures interact with one another in the body. Like in the body, you have different systems. So in anatomy, we study a particular structure and also its relationship with other parts in the body and how they bring functions. Like we have different systems. Though in our school we study anatomy based on region, even though we study anatomy based on region, but we carry along the brain systems like Basakkwace, CBS, like blood supply, nerve supply, the lymphatic drainage, muscular system, osteology. So they are all systems that you study, and also their relationship, how they relate. It is the muscles that contract.
The muscles?
It is muscles that contract, that bring about movement with the help of what? With the help of bones and all that. And also, apart from macroscopic anatomy, this one is macroscopic anatomy. There is also basic, we call it histology, where you study anatomy in cellular level, like the cellular arrangements of the cells in different tissues, how these tissues bring to form a particular organ, how this organ bring about the system. And also we have embryology. Embryology, where you study the developmental, we call it developmental anatomy, where you study the developmental stage of an individual. So that is anatomy. And my first action in when I started reading anatomy, I just feel happy because anatomy is the study of human being. I'm human being.
Yeah.
So like I'm exploring the intricate design of my own body. So when I come to start studying osteology, I feel like, okay, this is how my humans looks like. This is how the muscles are. This is how this and that. So I was very impressed. I'm happy to start reading anatomy. First of all, I just started thinking maybe I will become surgeon, this and that, because I will read, I will dissect and study internal structures. So that is my first reaction and studying anatomy.
Okay. What's the most surprising thing you've learned about the human form?
Well, the most surprising thing in human body to me is neuro anatomy.
Wow.
It's neuro anatomy, where you have different part of the, you see, you have central nervous system, which comprises brain and spinal cord, and how this brain itself, there is cranial nerves that supplies the head, neck, and other viscera in the thorax, and also there is a peripheral nervous system which are connected to the spinal cords, just like brachial plexus, how they bring about movement. These ones are sensory, this is motor. This one, if you touch, they call it sensory. The motor ones are the ones that will give you ability to remove your hand in danger.
Okay.
So I was surprised when reading Neuro Anatomy. Surprised.
How does studying anatomy enhance your understanding of human health and disease?
Well, before coming into anatomy, I thought when they say stomach, I thought it was just like one like the whole this place is a stomach. But when I dive into anatomy, I just understand that it is called abdomen.
Abdomen?
It is called abdomen. Then in abdomen we have the stomach, the intestine, and all that. So it helps me when we studied pharmacology, where we studied different routes of drugs administration, how these drugs reaches the systemic circulation after the digestion, the absorption, how they reach liver, how this thing metabolism takes place, how they drugs. So anatomy helps me a lot to know that. And for a layman person, you can't understand when maybe his head is paining him or stomach. But to me, I can directly talk to the doctor. This is the particular region. This is what I'm suspecting. This is what is happening. So that's what helped me to know about diseases in the human body.
Okay. What role do you think anatomy will play in the future of medicine and healthcare?
Well, anatomy had been the bedrock of anatomy. Even this question.
Anatomy has been the
It
bedrock.
is the bedrock of medicine in the past. Because in the olden days, they can't there is a ethical consideration that they can't dissect. They don't have enough textbook to study anatomy. But in the modern anatomy, you study anatomy in textbooks. You dissect. You see different structures.
Dissect?
So you dissect human body, like dead body, or we call it cadaver in the lab. You study with also atlases and textbooks. You see different parts of the body. So it helps in clinical practice. It helps in clinical practice because without that training of anatomy, one cannot understand that this is a median cubital vein. That is surface anatomy. This one is this one is bicep brachii. This one is that. So it's the help of anatomy. With the help of anatomy, one can understand. Okay, intramuscular injection, this and that. How you protect to get the sciatic nerve to get injured or something like that. So it's the help of science of anatomy.
Okay. Are there any specific advancement in anatomy or related fields that you are following closely?
Well, I have a relative, he's a medical doctor. I told him I'm reading anatomy. Like he said, wow, why not after anatomy you open one private place where you carried out ultrasound? Because he said, one guy from Zulu, because he worked in Zulu hospital. One guy that opened a private place where he carried out ultrasound and all that. So anatomy that I was exposed to places where they carried out ultrasound is anatomists that did that. So after anatomy, you can become you can build a place that you can be doing ultrasound, X-rays, and all that. After maybe you finish, you graduate from BSc anatomy, then you further your studies, so you can do that in anatomy. So it is very, very wide.
If you could study anatomy in history, who would it be and why?
Wow, it's going to be Vidi Chorazia, the publisher of this book.
Okay,
if
which
not
book?
Vidi Chorazia, Nature's Atlas, the Nature, the one that made the drawings of Atlas, because they explain anatomy very well. I like their work. If I could have chance to study anatomy, I would have choose those guys.
Okay. What are some of the most fascinating and cutting-edge development in the field of anatomy?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, that different imaging modalities have been discovered, like X-ray, MRI, CT scan, and all that. There is also labs that they grow cells, cell culture. We call it cell culture, or cell culture. We call it tissue engineering, where they grow cells like. So no need of somebody to donate kidney or liver. No, there is like a laboratory prepared ones. They grow cells.
Artificial cells?
It's not that artificial, that like they monitor the cells. Then they are going to produce a kidney, just like the one somebody can donate. So they are going to produce the same kidney with the help of those stem cells. So they are growing cells now. It is called bioengineering, biotechnology, cell engineering, cell culture, and all that.
Okay. What are some interesting anatomical facts that most people wouldn't know?
So it's enteric nervous system.
Enteric nervous
Enteric
system.
nervous system. Like it is a small brain in the gut. It's not only the central nervous system.
So we have another
There
brain
is
in the gut.
plexus of nerves in the gut that play key roles in digestion, even emotion. They also produce neurotransmitters like acetylcholine, serotonin. You know, so there is a small brain in the gut. It is plexus of the nerves that serve that role. They control emotion. They communicate with vagus nerve. You know, they help in digestion. So people will just think that it is only brain that did that. No, there is also a special one.
Wow.
Enteric nervous system.
Very impressive. Okay. What advice would you give to current and future anatomy students?
Well, my advice to them is that they should focus. They should focus on their studies, even though they will say maybe there is no, there is challenge of labor market for anatomists. So, if you go abroad, maybe after your masters, they can return you there because there is different opportunities there. So I'm advising them that they shouldn't feel discouraged. They shouldn't feel discouraged. They are telling them that they don't have no. Just read hard. Read hard and become the best. Don't just read and pass. No. Try to know the facts in anatomy. Try to have the wisdom in you. Know the field very well. And don't stop at BSc Anatomy.
Okay.
After BSc Anatomy, you need to further your studies. Read masters. Pick some parts, you know, even these imaging modalities.
Thank you, Hussaini, for sharing your incredible journey through anatomy. Your advice will be valuable for our listeners.
Thank you, Hauwa'u, for giving me the privilege to join you today. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Today, we've explored into the fascinating world of anatomy, learning about its intricacies, surprising facts, and future impacts on medicine. If you are interested in studying anatomy or you have any question regarding the field, you can contact us on our social media accounts on FEBK. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to follow our social media for more fascinating discussion.